Hey, what's up, people? Your boy's back. Yeah, this is unafraid, Wrighster or wrong, all these things. And so I've been, like, to be honest, I've been not struggling, but really trying to figure out exactly how I was going to bring content to, to the live streaming, Facebook, Periscope, all these things on a daily basis, because everybody knows that I love sports, I love food, I love being a father, love being a family man, love being a husband, all these things, right? So that's why it's been difficult for me to figure out exactly what type of content I was going to bring in. I'm like, I'm a three-dimensional person, so why am I trying to fit myself in just this little bitty sports box, right? So that's what Unafraid and Wrighster or Wrong are going to be about. It's going to be a place where we can conversate, where we can talk, we can do our thing. And it's going to be literally a place where we can be three-dimensional people, where we can talk about, not only can we talk about sports and the things going on there, but guess what? We can talk about other things as well. We can talk about the things that matter to us, which are, the fact that, so one of the things that's going on that I want to talk to you guys about is, so as my years keep creeping up, I noticed that, like, I have a very big heart to be of service and to help people and all this. So I mentor some young guys in the NFL right now, and then also sit on the board for the Harvard Health Study for football players, and really, try to be there for as many former players and current players as I can in any way, because what you go through while you're playing is tough, but then the transition out is very tough as well. And I noticed that with my kids, like, opening up, talking to them, sharing, like, my story, stuff I've been through and all that, how much more that connects us. I just noticed that every day you have these moments I have these moments where you're talking to your kids, you see them growing up, and you're thinking, you're like, man, like, this is a real person with real thoughts, real ideas, real hurts, and all this stuff. And I'm a person who's been in therapy. So you think about all the stuff that happened to you when you were a kid or young adult or adults, whatever, that affect how you are now. Then I'm thinking, how am I screwing up my kids on a daily basis, right? So ideally, you would not like to screw your kids up in any way. You would like to make them as perfect as possible, right? But that's impossible. So what we're all really trying to do is screw our kids up the least amount possible, just to make sure that they're well-adjusted human beings, the way they can go out and live life at a good rate, right? So that's ideal. That's what we would ideally like to do. But that doesn't always happen, and life doesn't always make it easy. So for me, recently, one thing that I've been through is that my kids, their grandmother passed away, and they kind of saw it happen. And just as a father, trying to be there for them in a way that, I've never had to do. Like, there's no manual for this. Like, how do I do this? How do I be there for them? How much do I leave them to themselves? How much do I try to be there and be involved and really, and try to get them to talk, and how much of this is normal? Because I'm 36 years old, so of course I've dealt with death on some level, right? I've had all four of my grandparents have passed away. One of my best friends passed away. Other people I've known have passed away, but that doesn't. So I understand how to deal with it for myself because I've learned. But it's like, as a parent, you want to take care of your kids. So you're like, how do I do this, right? How do I do this? And what's the best way? And I know that some of you guys have gone through the same thing, and some of you guys have been through it. And it's just amazing how resilient the kids are because yes, you have to talk to them, explain to them things and all that, but they are just little resilient human beings. I mean, they'll just plug through anything, and I guess your job is to help them learn how to manage, process, and all that. And not only with the kids, but with hold on, my wife is texting me. Like you're learning how to be of service like each and every day, right? You're learning how to serve your kids, serve your wife, serve your community, all these things. And that's why I'm just consistently amazed every single day at, how your life changes. So, cause I was hanging out with one of my friends the last 2 days. He's now married, one of my former teammates. And I knew a lot of the things he did before he was married, when he was playing, after he was playing, all those things, and me vice versa, right? Those things aren't exactly flattering, when you have a wife and all that. So, but we're at a point where we can talk openly about it, all that. But what we did, literally what we did part of yesterday was sit at a restaurant, have a drink, and we just talked. Just the four of us just talked and had a great time. And then I think about would I have thought that was an amazing day 10 years before that, or 13, 14 years before that when I was first in the league as a 21-year-old. Would I have thought that was fun? No. I would have been trying to be at some club. I would have been trying to hear some music, see some girls, do all these things. That's what I would have been trying to do. That's why I'm like, man, like every day you have these aha moments where you're like, man, like this is grown up like real life. And what I've actually changed to doing is actually a positive thing. Because when you're younger, you don't make good choices. You put yourself in harm's way. Been in clubs where there have been shootings. There have been made choices to go home with the wrong people. All of this. So you do these things when you're younger. But then when I get older, I'm like, don't want to get, not up for high risk behavior right now. I like the way stuff's going. I love the way that I like peace, like all these things. So let me stop engaging in high risk behavior. And as a man, sometimes we go through these things. We go through these things and we look for trouble. We look for calamity. We look for chaos occasionally. But as you get older, it should taper down and taper back, right? It should. But we all go through these things. But today, it's 4th of July. Wanted to say what's up to you guys. And it's actually pretty amazing because another thing about growing up, being a dad, all these things is, you know what I get to do now? Dad got to wake up this morning at 6 a.m. and put the ribs on the grill. Because it's going to take about 5-6 hours for them jokers to be done. Yeah, Dad had to do it. But you know what? Dad didn't mind. I was actually in my own place last night, peaceful, putting the rub on the ribs the way I could get up this morning, fire up the grill, fire up the wood for the smoker, for the big green egg. I'm sitting there, I'm outside cooking, the whole rest of the house is asleep, and I was happy. I can't tell you how happy I was. It's like, man, I came up with a new rub that I'm trying out today. And then it makes you think like, wow, like this is grown up stuff, right? Like this is grown up, like real life dad stuff. I know some of you guys listening have been doing this for a long time and all that, but this is what my dad did the majority of the time. He was the guy, got up, cooked, all this stuff, and then before that, his dad did it. And now I got to do this for my family. And it feels good. It makes you feel very manly. It makes you feel good to cook over an open flame. To cook with smoke. Makes you feel good. I mean, it does. It's good. I rather enjoy these things. And I will tell you the love I have for food It is, I believe it's healthy. Not all the food I love is healthy, but I believe my love of food is healthy because it creates a time for celebration. There's flavors popping all over the place. You get a chance to sit down, talk, enjoy people, your family. All that. I mean, what's better than that? I can't think of too many things better than that. And that's what I really want Wrighster or Wrong, Unafraid to be about, is a place where we can come and talk. Place where we're unafraid about a topic. We don't have to talk about sports every day. We're going to talk about the stuff that matters to us. If we got problems going on with our kids, we got problems going on with the wife, we got problems, vice versa, wife, husband, we're going to explain all these things. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about these sports as well, because you know that's how I get down. Just is what it is. And I was talking, one of the first topics that we're going to talk about is not counting other people's money. Yeah, that's one of the things. Because everybody likes to count other people's money, particularly athletes. They're like, oh, he's making too much. He's not making enough. Because you know it's free agency season in the NBA. We find out that J.J. Redick is worth $23 million for this year. Find out Drew Holiday is worth $25 million a year for 5 years, $125 million. And we find out Steph Curry, even though we probably already knew that Steph Curry is worth $40+ million a year. But in reality, aren't they really worth more than this? I mean, I know that we get the idea of that athletes are paid too much. Teachers and doctors and, well, not doctors, they're well paid too, but teachers and police officers and people in the military, that they should be paid more. I mean, in a fair world, that would be so. The problem is that people who generate revenue, people who generate advertising and all these things, they make the most money. And those are the owners. And then you have the players who play for them, who do well as well because they drive revenue as well. So speaking of these players, I'm looking at them, I'm like, I'm happy for you. Get your bread, bro. Because you have a finite amount of time to do this. I was watching Family Feud the other day, and they asked a question. Steve Harvey asked, 100 people were surveyed and asked, what is the average age a professional athlete retires? Do you know what the number one answer was? Number one answer, 35 years old. 35 years old? That was me last year. The answer to that is no. That's a resounding no. If the average career of an NFL player is like 3.2, 3.4 years, let's say you get in the league 22, 23, that puts you at 25, 26, maybe 27. That's 8 years away from 35. There's only a few people that get to play through their 35. Because you have to be, because think about it, if you come in the league 21, 22, 23, you have to play at least 12, 13 years to get to 35. Most people don't play that long, not even in the NBA, not even in baseball. These dudes are floating around the minors in baseball for a long time. Can't play soccer forever. It's only a few people, it's only a few fortunate, blessed, and talented enough people to be able to get that done. I don't think people really realize how difficult and what the average lifespan is, especially when you get to talking these contracts, right? So, yeah, we see the Drew Holiday's $125 million, 5 years, $125 million, but his brother Holiday, I think he signed 2 years, $16 million. Yeah, or 2 years, $18 million. Making a lot less than his brother. That's more like the case for most players. There's players that are way up here, and there are players way down there. That's why you can't count other people's money. But we'll get to that on another day. But I'm just happy that we are in a place where we can talk and we can be real and not constrained by some networks and not be constrained by protecting the license, not saying things that are going to hurt people's feelings and get you all upset and afraid. And one of the people who my timeline always gets flooded with people are upset with who, if I have something to say about, is LeBron James. People get upset about LeBron James. They love that dude. I will say this. I am critical of LeBron as a player at times because I don't think that he necessarily makes all his teammates better, which we'll get to on just because like Kevin Love's career, Chris Bosh's career, they've gone down because they haven't really been. They've been asked. They were asked to do things, and well, Bosh was, and Kevin Love is being asked to do things that that don't cater to his strongest suit. They've been relegated to three-point shooters, spot-up three-point shooters, and they were high-volume rebounders on a night-in, night-out basis, 25-point guys. Like, this is who they were, and now with limited touches, you expect them, like, Kevin Love's got to go 6 for 8 from the three-point line to get 20 points, to get 25 points. I mean, it's just, and that's not who he is. Kyle Korver can't even go 6 for 8 every night. So your expectations of Kevin Love are unreal because you're asking him to do something he's not great at. LeBron needs to get his butt in the post, facilitate from there because he is the point guard. He's not the small forward. He's the point guard. Kyrie's the shooting guard. Don't get that confused. In basketball, it doesn't matter your height, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your size. If you dominate the basketball in terms of the amount of dribbles and you are the person who is facilitating the offense, you are the point guard. Just is what it is. You have to accept it. So LeBron has to facilitate from elsewhere. But back to the point. LeBron James is the greatest of all time in terms of being a person off the court and with his teammates inside the court, in the locker room, all that. I've never seen a superstar player that teammates loved him more than they love LeBron. He's a good dude. Ever since he's got married, he seems like a great family man, doing the things, showing up, sending 1,100 kids to college, take care of his teammates, take care of his friends around him, not in terms of being an enabler, but getting them jobs, having them work to add to the LeBron James empire. This dude is winning on every level outside of basketball. He's winning in basketball too, but he's winning even more in the areas that count the most. And that's where you have to give him the most props because basketball is a game. And it'll be over for him in probably the next 5 years, 5-6 years, which will put him at 20. It'll be over for him around then. Guess what? He will still have a great life because he's winning in those areas. And that's what Unafraid and Wrighster Wrong are going to be about. It's about winning in all these areas. Yes, we got to win in sports. We got to talk sports. But can we talk food? Can we talk a little power? Because I enjoy Power, Game of Thrones, all of these things. Can we talk these things as well? Because I think you love them too. Can we talk about these things? Can I talk about my kids and occasionally I want to give them a little forearm chuck every now and then? And it's a delicate balance with the boys, especially. You gotta give them a forearm chuck sometimes. Sometimes you gotta give them a hug, give them a kiss, tell them you love them. These are the things, man. And I'm so happy, and honestly, I'm happy and blessed that you guys even give me your ear. Thank you guys. And we will be tuning in regularly now because now I've finally been able to narrow down and put it where I want it to be. What I want Wrighster or Wrong and Unafraid to be. Yes, they're going to be hot takes. Yes, they're going to be hard opinions. All of that, but we come in 3D and 360 right now. Whole person. Whole people. Whole families. Whole sports. That's how we gonna do. All right, y'all. Peace out.